I think we got there. All right. Woo! Yeah, this playthrough has been cursed, so I'm sorry about that. That was probably a really fun, super wild, where is it gonna go next intro for y'all. But yeah, had some things happening. It's not even technical, personal, it's a thing. But here we are, and I'm excited. So we have Maximum Apocalypse from Rock Manor Games. Huge shout out to them. I was interested in Maximum Apocalypse Wasted Wilds, and Mike and crew over there sent me Wasted Wilds, Gothic Horrors, and the original Maximum Apocalypse. And that's not exactly true, because this is actually Maximum Apocalypse, the second edition. There's some quirks that come along with that, which I'll get into. But it is obviously the edition that you want. And the Gothic Horrors, from what I understand, was a bunch of the original expansions that they kind of took and threw into one second box. They're all this size, and then the third box is Wasted Wilds. Now, I first became aware of Maximum Apocalypse in 2021, probably at PAX Unplugged. And they had a demo copy of Maximum Apocalypse out, and it was super cool to see. And Adam Smith from Rolling Solo highly recommended I check it out, and here we are. So it took me a couple of years to get all of it, but I got all of it now. Again, thanks to Rock Manor Games. So I will. I guess I'll talk about. I don't do reviews really, but just general impressions. Like, I like this game a lot. It is, to me, it feels like a very streamlined Arkham Horror LCG, and that's pretty high praise. I mean, Arkham Horror was my favorite game for a long time. There's a couple of quirks with it. I don't know how difficult it really is, so it could just be in the early scenarios, so that could just be a thing that it will get harder as we go. There was like a card missing in the second edition that they just forgot to change that part of the rule book. So that kind of stuff, like after I spent 20 minutes looking for a card, then I find out on a BGD thread buried somewhere that, oh, this card actually isn't in the box. That's a little frustrating. So that, those wrinkles happen, though. I mean, mistakes happen, oversights happen. Producing a game is a lot of work for these companies, so I totally understand it. It still doesn't mean that it doesn't make me more frustrated with your game when I'm trying to play it, and I'm like, I can't play it. And there wasn't a more forthcoming errata for that. The game, at least the scenarios I played, all use like a search mechanic, and like search mechanics are like one of my least favorite mechanics in games. I just find it adds so much to the swinginess, because if you find what you need buried somewhere in a deck early, then it's a lot easier than if like I just can't find what I need. Ultimately, that was one of the things that really killed Darkest Night for me, where you were just really trying to mill that deck of events to try to, or mill several different decks really to find clues, and getting 10 clues could sometimes be very, very, very hard in a way that it was like, that just didn't love that about it. So I do find the search mechanic, at least it's a little more minimized here, as far as like the swinginess is mitigated here, is what I should say, because it's not that hard to search, and what you need tends to be in one of the three decks, or actually all three of the decks, to some level. So it does kind of make it a little better. Now, look, I have played the tutorial mission and the first 2 missions. Pretty sure I have the rules down. You see any rules mistakes, obviously, put them in the comments below. Put them in the chat if you are catching this during the live stream, and we will go from there. So Silver Fear, hello. Brian says hello. And then Ryan Pierce says, yo, thanks for the heads up. See you soon. Yeah, so it is 10:30 Eastern. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling. So I do love the second edition with these little Game Nerdsian containers. Are these from Game Nerds? No, not Game Nerds. Game Trays. Game Nerds is a different thing. So Game Trays containers, those are excellent. Always high quality with Game Trays, and I appreciate that. The base game comes with 6 heroes. The heroes have both a standee version and these cardboard versions. And for the overhead camera, I will use the cardboard versions. And actually, during my gameplays, I tend to like the miniature versions and the standee versions to make sure I'm using the correct nomenclature. I actually prefer the cardboard versions. I always give me a standee with good art, and I will tend to take that over a lump of plastic any day. That is a personal preference of mine, and it is what it is. I understand that people love minis. I am just not really into the mini painting thing after my experience with Blood Rage, and I'm so glad I have a painted copy of Blood Rage, but I do not really feel the need to paint anything else. Now, I'm going to play today as the only 2 characters I haven't played with yet, and the fact that I'm doing that on camera should show you, to some extent, yeah, the complexity here isn't that crazy if I feel like I could just, cold run 2 characters I haven't played with yet. I'm going to get the health dial that corresponds to my 2 characters. So we have the veteran and his dog, which is that art and that art. Now, I do appreciate that they did this, but I don't find it that player friendly. So they gave you a female version and a male version of both characters, including the dogs. The problem with that is all the art links to the original version, so it's a little jarring, and until you really know the game, I could see you making a mistake. So I'm just going to use the original versions of the veteran and his dog, get rid of the alternate versions. Now there are 2 ways you can play solo. You can handle multiple characters, which is what I will be doing today. Alternatively, you could play an ally version of the game where you actually shuffle allies into the monster deck, so you could true solo it and then put allies in there. It's fine. I would just rather run 2-handed, but if you're finding that a little bit much, if you're a little bit newer to solo gaming, you might want to use the allies. I saw threads where it was pretty mixed in how people prefer to play this game. So I'm just going to run this 2-handed. We're going to get the art for the veteran, which is hither. We also need the art for his dog. Now, I will need to do a rule clarification on how that entirely works, and then we're going to get the art for the surgeon. So our little things. Now, there are little plastic stands for them. I'm just going to keep them flat so you can see them on the camera. So that's all we need from that tray. This tray, we need 2 small dice. These dice represent hunger dice. They could have done something a little bit more with the hunger die instead of a normal d6, but that's fine. It is what it is. In this tray, you'll see a bunch of different things. So you have all your little hit markers. Now, the hit markers, you don't need to use them a lot. You might want to use dice if you have a bunch of d20s lying around, but even that d10s. But it's fine. The hit markers they're sorted well enough that they're pretty easy to get to. This is a deck that you could use as an alternate way to play, because there is spawn dice that you roll every turn. They're a little bit swingy. Instead, you could choose to use the spawn deck. I have not tried to play with the spawn deck. I think it would give a more even experience, so maybe I should try to do with the spawn deck, but I'm just using the spawn dice for now. That seems to be the original way the game was intended to be played. And then there's a bunch of optional cards you could throw in there. It is what it is. These tokens are the ones we'll be using the most, where if a monster is supposed to spawn, we just put a token on there until a character would go there. Then we'd actually draw a monster from the monster deck. And then we have these ammo tokens and these fuel tokens. The fuel tokens could also be used for ammo in certain situations with certain weapons that certain characters have in their deck. So again, this is like a Streamlight Arkham Horror in the sense that your deck is pre-made, so you do not have to do any deck building. I guess you could if you really wanted to. I probably should give these a bit of a quick wash here, considering they're probably still factory set, because I have never played with these two characters. Joey, morning all. I picked this game up a few months back and played through the mechanic of Fireman. I had fun, but I haven't got back to play with any other characters yet. Yeah, so each box has like 12 scenarios, I think, plus a tutorial. So I'm only effectively I'm on scenario 3. I was gonna try to I'm on scenario 2. I was gonna try to do, so I actually lied before. I did the tutorial, then I did one. What? What am I doing? Which ones did I do, kids? Have I collected samples yet? I have not collected samples yet. So I did the tutorial twice and I did mission once. I'm actually on mission 2. The Maximum Apocalypse, for those who don't know, basically what happens if all the apocalypses happened at once. Although it's not really at once, because you have like the monster deck just changes. So we're basically playing through a zombie apocalypse, and then we're going to go into an alien apocalypse, and then we're going to go into a mutant apocalypse, etc., etc., etc. The next few, like the Gothic Horrors edition, has vampires, it has dinosaurs, it has Cthulhu. So like the Cthulhu mythos, or the Yog-Sothian mythos, whatever you want to refer to, and then Wasted Wilds actually adds like factions and weather and a whole bunch of other things. So I'm actually excited. So I might not play through all of the base game before I kind of move on, but I might too. It's short enough. Ideally, if I can find a friend that if we're just in the mood for something a little bit lighter, because this indeed would be lighter than the normal co-op games that I would play. So that is what it is. So I shuffled the Veterans deck. Let me get the rule book to read a little bit about how the Veteran works to make sure I'm not screwing anything up. Rulebook is good, not amazing. Player cards are helpful, so I will take that. Veteran and his dog. The veteran isn't much of a people person, but he does have a loyal dog. The unique character comes with 2 different character cards, and their deck revolves around diverse dog instant actions and a wealth of old military gear. I'm not sure what word I was trying to say there. For the veteran is a great all-rounder who can deal with amassing monster tokens and more. He just goes a bit nutty if his dog dies. Veteran and dog rules. Here we go. Playing as a veteran of this dog, you can select which monster is attacking which character, but must evenly distribute monsters between the characters. For example, if you have 3 monsters attached to you, 1 will damage the veteran, 1 will attack the dog. And the third, you can choose to attack the veteran or the dog. You can choose each monster that is attacking each character. If a monster hits all players at range, it hits both the veteran and the dog. Similarly, if you end your turn in the hospital, you can raise 2 health to both the veteran and the dog. Both the veteran and the dog share a hunger die. Whenever the veteran eats anything, he gives a bite to his good old dog, so you don't need to worry about managing 2 hunger levels. The veteran has a storage limit of 4. The dog has a limit of 0 because dogs don't have hands. The only equipment the dog can equip is the dog collar. If both characters are alive, use a lower stealth statistic. If one character dies, you continue playing until the other character is eliminated. So we have to have a separate health meter for El Doggo. I don't think they gave us one for the Doggo. I'm just going to use a D12, which is fine. It makes sense they wouldn't give you one for the Doggo. All right, so that's fine. So I assume, yeah, we're just using, so each turn you have 4 actions, and I guess we could just use them across the veteran and the dog, and we'll make that work. And then we have a hunger die on the veteran, and if they're both hungry, oh yeah, hunger can add up, and we'll talk about the hunger mechanic as we go. All right, let me shuffle up the surgeon. So hope everyone else in the Northeast may or may not be enjoying a snow day, and I say obviously Northeast from a very Americentric perspective. So if you're in the Northeast somewhere else, you're like, we don't have any snow. Yes, I'm sorry for being that guy. So here we are. Yeah, Philadelphia is in the Northeast, but has not really gotten snow in 2 years, which is makes me very, very sad. I'm sure Alfred Wallace would love to send me some of the snow that he gets over in the Dakotas, but here we are. And so finally we got some snow this year, and Philadelphia was like, we don't know what to do with the snow, and just canceled work, closed the courts for 2 days. Yes, I work in the Philadelphia court system. Oh, the joys. Stories upon stories upon stories, kids. That's what I'm telling you. All right, these go here, and probably not maybe not the stories you would think unless you have some familiarity with the court system near you. This goes here. I'm gonna have my rules explanation, my cheat sheet cards over here, and the veteran's health starts at 22. We have a little health meter. The surgeon's health starts at 25. And there are no mulligans in the initial card draw. And I'm going to probably rearrange where I put these things in a second, but we're going to draw an initial 4 cards as a starting hand for both characters. Now, the veteran has a special action, deal 2 damage to the vet. Dog is immune to damage until your next turn. Oh, interesting. That's cool. And then that's keep your paws off them. And then we have bite them, mid-range. Action, deal 3 damage to a target. Dog takes 1 damage. Aw, rough. Poor pups. And then we have the surgeon. Action, restore 1 health to a target. It's a suture short range, so it has to be at your location. Mid-range means it could be at an adjacent location. Only orthogonal adjacency matters, not diagonal. And then I'll go through the cards as I play them. There are gear cards. There are instant action cards. It gets all very exciting. So we have the rules for the surgeon. A surgeon is a support class who focuses on healing and boosting the actions of other survivors on her team. As she gets her scrubs and scalpel, her healing abilities improve. She may not carry a lot of weapons, but her taser can stun enemies, and she can always throw a Molotov cocktail if things get intense. Now, this could be a good challenge for me because I have found the other characters, the hunter, the fireman, the gunslinger, and the mechanic, all very weapon heavy, and doing damage was not a problemo. So we're going to set up our mission. So we're going to mission 2. The scientist says so. In mission 1, we found. Oh, spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! All right, I did my duty there. We get to mission 2. The scientist says he needs samples to find a cure. Looks like you're going to have to get out of there and kill some zombies. Now, there is a continual story through this book. However, every mission is made to be kind of set up as a one-off, so you don't need to worry about playing a full campaign. Now, you can play in campaign mode where things carry over. I probably wouldn't because I have enough campaigns I'm in the middle of, and it doesn't seem like the mechanics really justify the extra overhead and upkeep. But to each his own. The game gives you many, many options, which is things that games do now, which isn't something I really love about games today. But just tell me how to play, and I'll play it. Thank you. All right, that's just me. So mission setup. We're going to have to take all the stuff out of here. So these are your scavenge decks. We have a red scavenge deck, a green scavenge deck, and a blue scavenge deck. So we also have the Scientist Ally. Now this came from Gothic Horrors. Again, spent 20 minutes trying to find it. Found the thread, found out that that card I needed was in Gothic Horrors now. If you don't know Gothic Horrors, you could just proxy the Scientist, which is super fun and not annoying at all. The van is where we start. I kid, not really. It was kind of annoying. We're going to take these out. So as you first start the tutorial, you don't have that many locations, and then you're told to add a lot of other locations pretty quickly. Each scavenge deck is only 18 cards, and at the end of the game, you can sort them based on the color in the top corner. I kind of wish they put it on the back too. Minor gripe is what it is, but we will make do with what we have. And I'm going to put the scavenge decks up here for now. They might move, so don't get used to them there. I'm sorry if I'm throwing you all off on this beautiful Friday morning. Silverfear says no snow in Eastern Connecticut yet. Oh my God. No, we started snowing probably like I am a cloud who snows. It started snowing in Philadelphia probably around sometime overnight, 4 or 5 a.m. is my guess. Now, some of these cards aren't great. Some of these cards will cause monsters to be drawn, and that's very sad. And you just have to deal with it when it happens. So we're going to put the blue deck here. We have the green deck in my hand. We're going to shuffle this up real quick. So we need to get our monster set. Now, the 4 monster sets in the base game are zombies, robot, mutants, and what are you called? Aliens. So we're just getting the zombie deck, and I'm going to get all of that deck. Put that there, and now notice every one of these decks, I guess the green is more geared for like health and food. I think the blue is more like weapons, and the red says fuel. So yeah, fuel, food, ammo, gear. Do not mistake the fact that the red says fuel to think that there's only fuel cards in the red, because why would you think that? That's what I thought. I was wrong. There are fuel cards, only one or two in each of these, so that can be a little misleading. So there's a lot of overlap in these decks. They are not nearly as specialized as you might be led to believe just looking at the tray. So we're going to put the red deck here. Bam. We got the zombie deck. Now, each of the monster decks, Puberty's a Bitch, have a boss card. It just says boss in the top left. There's 2 boss cards in the zombie deck, so I'm going to put that over there, shuffle the rest. Now, I have played with these before, so I'm not going to worry about watching them. So that's shuffled. And now we have to set up all of our locations. Now, the only location that's face up is the van, because we are driving around, right? We picked up the scientist on the last mission, and now we're driving around trying to find some things, because he thinks he can find a cure for the zombie mutation that has taken over the world. We're going to shuffle the rest of these tiles. All right, and then we're just going to set up a grid, and every scenario tells you how to set these up. So sorry for some of these shadows. Again, getting set up today was a disaster. So we got there, though. We were, 5 minutes late? Yeah. Super awesome. So here we go. It's going to be a fairly extensive map. And again, not only might we have to do some hunting through the decks, we are also likely to have to hunt through these tiles to find the exact place we need. Again, it's a search mechanic. The game relies a lot on it. Not my favorite mechanic at all. But kind of works. Why do I have an extra tile? 2. I should not have an extra tile. I did not have an extra tile last time. Is there one less tile this time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 15, 21, 25. Why is it only 24 this time? That's pretty annoying. Yeah, it's just sloppy, man. Like this is your second edition. I just wouldn't expect to find. I shouldn't have a question here. Example map setup. If I have one extra, do I just not use it? I'll assume I just don't use it. I'll look at the Learn to Play guide. Because why do I have 24 tiles and then I end up... Right, because it usually tells you when to remove tiles, what to add tiles. Example mission setup. Do you not have to set up that? I guess you could set it up any way you want. That's weird. So I don't even know what the point of the game setup. Build the map. Then make a stack with tiles with the mission. Shuffle tiles, build the face down, all mesh to the stack. All right, so it could be in any pattern you choose. So I don't know why they showed me a pattern that only had 24 tiles when there are 25 tiles to be displayed. So it is what it is. Alrighty then, it's the little things, kids. We are going to place an ace token at least 3 away from the van. I'll just put it 4 away from the van just to follow the little example they gave me. Bam, and that is that. Mission objectives. So again, to finish the mission, we need to finish our objectives. We need to collect and deliver 1 fuel per player. So that's going to be 2 fuel because there are 2 players. The dog doesn't count for these purposes. We have to destroy 2 zombie walkers, 2 zombie spitters, 2 zombie dogs, and 2 zombie soldiers. We need to confront and destroy the zombie queen. The zombie queen is at A, apparently, and return all players to the van when all other objectives have been completed. Mission action: Star Token A. When you enter this tile, draw and attach a zombie queen to you, then remove the token from the game. You are confronted. Okay, so you probably should do that with the veteran, because I don't think our surgeon is going to be up for the task. So all our characters start on the van, and there's going to be initial monster draw. Now you'll see these numbers in the top right. That controls how and where monsters spawn. I'm going to start making better use of the space, and I'm really crooked. That's a lot of glare, so I'll put this, put this down here. I'm gonna have to kind of cover that glare. Why is there so much glare? Yeah, I'm gonna need all this space. So, Joey says I'm in Northern VA. Got about 5 inches here. I got 11 trucks out plowing. Still on my death dispatch and enjoying solo playthroughs. Nice. So if the monsters are going to attach separately, maybe I should do. I'll have a monster row, a gear row for the vet. I'll have a monster row and a gear row for El Doggo. Yeah, it's going to be tough with these guys. And then here's our. I'll just put our deck of cards up here. That will work. There's not going to be much gear for the dog, so I'm not going to be that worried about it in the end. But 22 health for Un Vet, and here's our draw pile. All right, we're going to come over here for the surgeon. The surgeon's going to have 25, her card, and I'll put her draw pile up here, and her hand will just come down here. And we're going to take a brief break. All right, now we're drawing our initial monster for the veteran. It is a zombie walker. No, we need to kill. This is weird. So yeah, we need to kill 2 of these. That's fine. I can attach them to either one. It's mid-range. That's fine. We'll attach. Well, yeah, I don't. This is gonna be annoying. All right, I'll put it up against. So he's attached to the vet. That. I guess if he's attached, I'll just put a next one. I can put the gear down here. That'll work. So he's attached to a vet. So he has 4 health. He does 2 damage. When he's draw another monster card. Does that include during setup? I probably should include during setup. I don't think I've ever seen that instruction before. Where is our rules draw? Resolve this effect when drawn, including during setup. Excellent. So we have to draw another monster card over here. It is the zombie spitter. We'll have to go on the doggo. Deals 2 damage to all players in range. And I'm assuming the dog counts as a player. She has 6 health, does 2 damage. Both the veteran and the dog. Excellent. So FAQ is actually good when you know where the heck. The rulebook could be good when you know where you're actually looking for some of these things. All right. Yeah, I'll put her health. No, that's under my ugly mug. We'll put her health down there. That makes sense. Well, that's where her cards were. I don't know. We'll figure it out. She has to draw a card, and it is the zombie stalker. So we have a spitter, we have a stalker. Nope, we don't care about the stalkers. They have 12 health, do 5 damage. After dealing damage, the stalker moves to the weakest player in range. Now, I spent a lot of time trying to find an official FAQ for what the heck weakest meant. Is that based on the amount of health left? Is that based on, it doesn't seem to be, is that based on your starting health? That seems reasonable. I don't know. We just now will figure it out. So I'm going to play it as it means starting health, and I guess the doggo would count as a player for those purposes. Seems reasonable. 2 different character cards. Yeah, so that is a character. Of course, this says player, so that is, again, there's just like a little things about this that I'm like, this is your second edition, like and you've made other games that are excellent. So like, I don't know why there's all these little things that I'm like, I shouldn't have to be like, like this was literally the first enemy I drew, and I was like, Stalker moves to the weakest player. Well, player's a little more obvious when you're not playing with the veteran of this dog, but like, what is weakest? Why is weakest not defined anywhere? That's, again, little things that annoy Greg for 1,000. So after he deals damage, he moves to the weakest player in range. I'm going to play that it means character, and I'm going to play that means the dog will get that. So we have to put the hunger die on the surgeon. So we're done drawing, and now we're going to go to the first turn, which will be played by the veteran and his dog. So we spawn monsters. So to spawn monsters, we're going to roll these spawn dice. I rolled a 3. We're going to check the spawn values on all the tiles that are revealed. There are none that have a 3, so we got lucky. We don't have to spawn any monsters. We now draw a card, so it's our 5th card. Now, if you ever need to draw a card and you can't, guess what? You lose. Woof. Oh, that's nice. All right, now these are our options for our 4 actions. So moving is an action, obviously. Playing an instant effect's an action. Playing a gear is an action. So action. So a Luger pistol has 5 bullets. Action: deal 3 damage to a target. You may spend another ammo to attack an additional target. That could be good. The dog collar: reduce damage to the dog by 1. Could be good. He only has 12 damage. Fetch: if the dog is alive, draw any 3 scavenge cards and discard 2. Incapacitated: if the dog is alive, stun and deal 2 damage to a target. Incapacitated: if the dog is alive, stun and deal 2 damage to a target. And that is mid-range, so that could be any target, including ones that are going to be in front of our fellow players. The surgeon, she has a gurney, long range, pull a player one space towards you without triggering any tile effects. That's nice. That takes 2 gear. The Molotov cocktail, 2 damage to all enemies in range. That could be good. The scrubs, increase health restoration by 1. You're immune to status effects. And quick thinking, draw 2 cards and 1 scavenge card. Could all be helpful. So now we know what she's doing. She's not doing much damage, so we're going to need to figure this out. So I'm going to play Incapacitate, because the doggo's alive, and I'm just going to have a discard pile off camera. I'm going to deal 2 damage to the zombie spitter, and the zombie spitter is now stunned, which means I'm just going to turn her on her side. Bam, just like that. We are going to... I really don't want to do much. I mean, I could take 2 damage to the vet this turn. I'm not worried about that. I'm going to play the dog collar. This is the only gear the dog can have, so I'm just going to put it next to it because I can't get any more gear. So reduce damage to the dog by 1, which could be super helpful. And then we're going to have 2 more actions. We can scavenge. We can do like location actions. There are none on the van, so we really can't do much there. Mid-range. Reduce damage. Incapacitate. Yeah, we're not going to be able to kill this guy, so we're going to do Incapacitate again. I'm going to do 2 damage to the zombie stalker and stun them. So when they would activate, instead they were just ready. So they're stunned now, and they won't activate actually until the surgeon's turn, so we got some time to deal with them. And why not? Let's play Scavenge. Draw any 3 scavenge cards and discard 2. We could play the Luger. Now we'll play the Luger and get some ammo, a weapon out for the veteran. That comes in with 5 ammo. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So those are my 4 actions. At the end of my turn, the turn reference is also wrong, by the way, which is kind of annoying. So it is what it is. Step 4 says increase hunger. That's not step 4. Step 4, the monsters activate that are engaged with us. Remember, the zombie stalker was stunned, so she's just going to ready. But the zombie walker is not stunned. He's doing 2 damage to who he's attached to. He's attached to the veteran. The veteran takes 2 damage and is down to 20 health. All right, and then we're going to increase hunger. Our hunger die goes up to 2. it gets to 6, we flip the characters over, and they will all take some damage because the suckers need some food. That is the end of the entirety of the veteran's turn. We're going to the surgeon's turn. Rolling a die. Please, the small dice. Please don't roll a 6. I rolled a 6 because of course I did. So this could be a short playthrough, kids. A 6. If we weren't there, we would just put a monster token there. No big deal. Might be a big deal later, but wouldn't be a big deal now. But because we're all there, that's. I'm guessing the dog is also going to get a monster. Yeah, I'm guessing it counts because I guess you could move them separately. So that's interesting. So we're going to draw a monster card for the surgeon because it's her turn. We get a zombie walker. Okay, that one says get draw another card. That one does not. So that's good to know that not all of them have that effect. The veteran's going to get a monster card. It's a zombie walker. Does not have that effect. So maybe I haven't missed that before. And the doggo's going to get a monster card. It's a zombie walker. Doesn't have that effect. So we have a bunch of zombie walkers that could have been worse. Don't draw a 6. Bam. Joey says, I felt like the items are only overly redundant in this game. A lot of times I end up with trusty fire axes, like 1 and 2 items to retrieve more trusty fire axes. Yeah, there's some weirdness with the decks. I get that. I was surprised there weren't more effects where discard 3 cards to do this, or like, because if you have all these extra cards, you're like, why do I have these cards? All right, maybe we should separate, or maybe I should just stop rolling a 6. Super annoying. All right. We are. Oh, well, this will be fun. I'm gonna play the Molotov cocktail because we have 7,000 enemies around. So it's an instant effect. Deal 2 damage to all enemies in range, and I'm just gonna put that off camera. So 2 more damage to the zombie spitter. Oh, I draw a card. It's an adrenaline shot. Pick a player. That player may take 2 actions right now. I'm going to do 2 damage to the zombie walker, 2 damage to the zombie walker, 2 damage to the zombie walker, and 2 damage to the zombie walker. Oh, there's actually 2s in here. That's helpful. A 2, and we'll put a 2 onto the zombie stalker. I'm going to play quick thinking for my second action. I draw 2 cards and 1 scavenge card. I'll take from the blue deck ammunition, add 2 bullets to any equipped weapon. My third action, I can't stun him, so that's a little annoying. I'll play Scrubs, increase health restoration by 1. I am immune to status effects. And then my fourth action is yeah, probably makes the most sense. My fourth action is I'm going to do adrenaline shot, pick a player. That player may take 2 actions right now. I'm going to get the vet 2 actions. The vet is going to use the Luger pistol to deal 3 damage to a target and then spend another ammo to deal 3 damage to another target. We're going to kill this guy. So we've killed 1 zombie walker. We're going to kill the spitter. And then the second action, the vet's going to do the same thing. He's going to spend 2 ammo. Man, I'm going to be low on ammo. The dog can do some things. I definitely need to get to the stalker with 12 health is nasty. I do have the ability to restore health, so that's fine. We can put the taser out to stun enemies. That's also probably strong. So we're going to spend 2 ammo. We're going to kill one of these zombie walkers. So that's our second zombie walker destroyed. And then we're going to put 3 damage onto the zombie stalker. So he's up to 7. Those are my 4 actions. End of the turn, this zombie would activate instead of just readies. And then we increase our hunger die up to 2. We will need some food quickly. We go to the veteran's turn. Rolling the spawn dice. Don't roll a 6. I rolled a 7. Huzzah. 7 is never bad, which is helpful. So no crapping out here. We are going to draw a card. Give me some ammunition. It's another Luger. Oh, that's... Can I equip? I think I can equip 2 of them. Can I equip 2 of them? There's a weird... something with items. Play a card. You can only have 1 copy of a gear card equipped at a time. It's probably better just to... No, that's fine. I'm going to shoot a bullet. I'll kill this guy. So he's out. I'm going to then equip my second Luger. That comes in with 5 ammo. And a lot of Arkham in this game for sure. And then we're going to shoot 2 bullets. Kill this guy. Do 3 damage to this guy. So he's up to 10. And our 4th action is we'll kill the stalker because the surgeon's not going to be able to deal with it. So we have 2 bullets left on there, and the stalker's out. So for 4 actions, we're good to go. There are no zombies left to attack. We increase our hunger up to 3. Oh boy, do we need food. Surgeon, don't roll a 6. I rolled a 5. Excellent. We draw a card. No, that's not from the right deck. Alright, Scalpel. Deal 2 damage to a card. Increase health restoration by 1. Oh, that's interesting. So we're going to play the Scalpel, get another gear out. Now we are limited to 4. The Gurney. Yeah, we'll figure out how we want to do all this. I'm going to... But I definitely want a weapon out. I'm going to spend the ammunition scavenge card to give 2 ammo to the Luger pistol while we're on the same location. Now we're going to start moving around. Now again, I want to send a veteran up there so she can maybe come down here. We are going to want to do some scavenging. So we start in the van. We have to get back to the van, which is super interesting. We just basically need to find fuel. So the surgeon's going to move down. We flip over this tile. It is the gas station. It has a spawn value of 5. The reveal effect is we get a free scavenge. Should we take a card from the red deck? It is a food, reduce 1 player's hunger by 4. That is most excellent. Now that in the future, we can scavenge at any location that has one of those symbols. We can scavenge from a location once a turn. Free scavenges would not count against that limit. End of the turn, there are no zombies to attack us. Our hunger die goes up to a 3. We go back to the veteran. The veteran's rolling a die. Don't roll a 5 or a 6. We rolled a 7. Most excellent. We draw a card. Where's my deck? It's up here. Damn you all. If the dog is dead, deal 2 damage to all players. And... Wolf. What? 6 damage to all monsters in range. No, don't kill my doggo, please. Alright, we are going to... we'll play fetch because we have a chance. So fetch is out. We're going to draw any 3 scavenge cards and we're going to keep 2. I'm going to go through the green deck because I'm looking for some food. We discard 2. So food, reduce a player's hunger by 5. Woof. Retrieve a card from your discard pile. Excellent. So scavenge worked out well. Now this just goes in our hand. It's an instant effect. Fuel cards are like exceptions. They get equipped right away, but we haven't had any of those yet. So that's fine. So health, hunger is not going to be much of a problem because we have the food for the vet and we have the food for the surgeon. So that's super, super helpful. We have done one action. Our second action is, and that was the instant action of the fetch. I'm going to move here at the vet. We reveal this tile. Shelter, immune to damage when you end your turn here and started your turn somewhere else. That could be super helpful. And then the doggo is going to go here. I'm assuming they move separately. I'm not seeing a way that they don't. I'm hoping there's like a come here boy card or something like that lets the dog get back super quick, but we'll see. So the doggo will just come here. We reveal this. Open field. Oh no! Reveal, draw a monster card. That's not good. And we end our turn there. We're drawing another monster card. So doggo is about to get roughed up, but we can heal it. There's no range on that. Or wait, if there's no range, is it assumed to be short range? No. If there's no range, oh man. I mean, how is that not in there? Yeah, if there are no ranges limited, the effect is not limited by range. So I'll be able to heal the doggo up. So we're drawing a monster. It is a zombie soldier. We need to kill 2 of them anyway. And we draw another monster because we ended our turn there. It is a zombie dog. We needed to kill 2 of them anyway. So the joys. The monsters both activate. They're going to do 4 damage to the doggo each, except each damage is reduced by 1. So they're doing 6 damage to the doggo, so he's down to 6 health. Poor doggo. I don't know why he just sounded like a cat, but you know, it is what it is. And I'll have the enemies engage with the doggo here. So it's more consistent. Alrighty then. Wait, they have to be even. What is this? No, they've got to stick together. This is confusing because I don't know why there's 2 character cards because it doesn't make any sense because they have to be even. But if the dog's separate, there should be 2 character cards. I don't think this is right. They've got to move as 1, and that really should be in the FAQ. They've got to move as 1 because there's no way you can do that balancing structure otherwise. So I think the best thing to do is just to pretend that this was up here, assuming they move as 1, because I was going to move them again anyway. And then we both moved here because it's the movement. The movement mechanic would be too much if they had to move that many times. So then it would just be this, the doggo, the zombie soldier would go there, the doggo would go here, dog on dog crime. The dog loses 3 health, so he's down to 9. And the veteran loses 4 health, is down to 8. Is down to 16. It's like 8. It's just totally different. Well, it's actually not totally different. It's just doubled. Sorry, I might have missed you explaining that when I was on the phone. I haven't played with the veteran before. You're supposed to attach a monster with the veteran and a dog, or just one for the group and assign who it attaches to? Yeah, that's what I'm confused by. And I'm kind of incredulous that it's not in the FAQ. I mean, you have a whole section of veteran and dog rules, and you don't tell us, and like it's just, it's really annoying. I'm not gonna lie. This is what I get for I played very low complexity characters. Sorry, I'm like not on screen right now. Trying to pick something up off the floor. Right, because if they can't be separate, then you're probably just grabbing one for the group. All right. And if that's the case, I think they both got zombie walkers. I'd have one more bullet on the pistol. The zombie walker would be shuffled into the deck because it's all random. And nothing else really would have changed because of the way the Luger works. It's got to just be one for the group. It really should be one piece of art for the two of them. Like, there's no reason. If they're moving as a unit, it's kind of dumb that they are two different things. These tiles aren't big enough for that. I get it may be cute, but I can't see how they would separate. It just wouldn't make the rest of the mechanics of the game work. But when you give me two things, I'm going to assume they can separate. But there's no way that they could separate. And that's a lot of health, man. I mean, that's 34 health combined. Whoa, that's really strong. That's crazy. All right, that's fine. We'll keep them together. We drew the two monsters. They took their damage. End of the turn, we are going to increase our hunger die up to a 4. Bleeding was 1. You only draw once a card or assign one monster at the beginning of the scenario. Oh, right. So I actually did that wrong, too. That's harder to figure out. Because I drew... Well... That I might have done right. Because I had to draw another monster card in the zombie spitter. That I actually did that right at the beginning of the game. Because that said draw another card, and that does include during setup. So that gave me that in the zombie spitter, and the stalker was over here, and then the surgeon rolled a 6, and we got 2 zombie walkers. So yeah, that actually I did right. So no mistake. That needs to be corrected there. Sometimes a blind squirrel finds a nut. Great. We increase our hunger die already. We go to the surgeon's turn. We roll a die. And we rolled a 5. She just loves making monsters drop on her head. So we're going to take this. What does she get? It's a zombie dog. Whee! All right. So she's going to spend her first 2 actions to kill the dog with her scalpel. That's why I wanted to get the scalpel out while I had the chance. Sorry, doggo. Nice life. We needed to kill 2 zombie dogs. That is one of the 2 we need. Oh, she does draw a card, by the way. It's another scalpel. Her second action, she's going to move here. No, third action, because we spent 2 actions to kill the dog. Third action, she moves here. It's another gas station. It's gas station row down here, kids. And we get a free scavenge. It is ammunition. Fully reload a weapon at short range. Our last action, I guess we put out the taser. The gurney doesn't seem like it's helpful. Yeah, I don't want to go into another, like the open field obviously wasn't the greatest thing for me to do, so we'll just put out the gurney. Now we are maxed out on our gear. Yeah, thanks, Joey. I please appreciate the confirmation, man. All right, we're gonna go to the end of the turn. No zombies attached to her. No, we do increase her hunger to 4. And now we go to the veteran's turn. We're rolling the dice. Don't roll an 8. We rolled an 11. There are no small values of an 11. We're going to draw a card. Trust his instinct. If dog is alive, reveal 2 map tiles without triggering their effects. Sure. First, we're going to do 8 damage. We're going to do the Luger with our first action. Do 3 damage to 2 things. So 3 damage to you. 3 damage to you. Second, we're going to do this again. kill the dog. Get the zombie thing. Man, I'm just gonna burn all my... Hopefully I can find some ammo, kids. Third action, we're using our last bullet to kill the soldier. We do need to kill 2 zombie soldiers, so there's 1. And we cannot end our turn here, because otherwise we have to draw another monster, because it's an open field, so we'll move here, and hopefully not draw a monster. Shopping mall. Everybody needs a shopping mall. Then notice that 8 and 8. So if we roll an 8, we're getting a lot of monsters in that area. We get a free scavenge from the blue deck. We need fuel still. Flashlight. Passive. Whenever you take the scavenge action, draw 2 cards. Choose one to keep. Put the other on the bottom of the deck. That could be super helpful. We'll put that right there. All right, end of the turn. Zombies attack. There are none. And then we get our health die up to 5. We go to the surgeon's turn. Spawn zombies. I rolled a 7. Good rolling. Draw a card. Oh, I put out the gurney. I meant to put out the taser. Mortar and pestles. Cure a player in range of all status effects. Reduce their hunger by 1. That could be helpful. And let's see. We're going to move here. The river. Test. Move to this tile. Fail. Return to the previous tile. What the heck is the test? I don't remember. Test. Just says test. It's really great. Woof. Key. Game setup. The only time I saw the river. All right. Roll 2 spawn dice. This really should be on the tile, man. Tile effect. River. Playing a card. It's just this test. And test is the... Oh, perform a stealth test. Then resolve it based on your result. All right, so we have to do a stealth test. A normal... Well, that also should be explained. Stealth... Wolf. When you do a spell test, you pass if you roll lower or equal to your modified stealth. So my stealth for the surgeon is an 8. I rolled a 7, so we pass, so we can stay. We move to that site. Indeed, that was our first action. I can't scavenge there. I haven't healed anybody. I'm gonna move again. It could really get me stuck. That's only on the reveal. Whatever. We're gonna... I mean, some of these are bad, but I'm gonna move again. My second action. It's another gas station. It really is gas station, real kids. We get a red, a free scavenge. It's a backpack. That could be helpful. So that was my second action. My third action, I place the backpack. It takes up no gear, but gives me +1 gear. So that will be helpful for if I find any fuel. And since the free scavenge didn't count against me, the free scavenge did not count against my scavenge limit of once per turn. I'm going to scavenge again. And we get empty-handed. When we draw this, we discard it. That was super fun. I love getting trolled by card decks. It's my favorite part about search mechanics, if you've been paying attention over the last couple of years. End of the turn, no zombies attack. We get our health die up to 5. We're spawning for the veteran's turn. I rolled a 4. We put a zombie monster, a zombie token there. All right, we draw a card. It is Dog Collar, reduce the damage by 1. We can only have 1 on there. I'm going to play Food to reduce our tile down to 1. So again, I'm not getting full value out of that, but if I let it go to a 6, then both of our tiles flip and we take damage. So I'm just going to spend an action to do the food. Now, I have 3 more actions. I'm not sure I'm ready to take on the queen, because I know the queen's there, and I do not have any damage dealing abilities. I'm going to use Trust His Instincts to reveal 2 tiles without triggering their effects. So reveal this tile. Wait, can I do that? When you enter this tile, so I can reveal it without entering. Stop if you move again this turn. Draw a monster. So we have to stop when we get to the forest. And I'll reveal this tile because it was over here. Why not? It's another shelter. So that's interesting. 2 shelters over there. That was my second action. Third action is I will equip the flashlight. Fourth action is I will search. And when I search, I can draw 2 cards and discard 1. I'll draw these 2. Remember, I still need 2 fuels. Oh, good. I can ignore the ambush. And I can take a food into my thing. So that was really good timing for that. So still don't have any fuel. That's fine. Zombies attack. There are no zombies. Hunger die goes up to 2. We're going to go to the surgeon's turn. We're spawning. We're spawning on 10. There are no 10s out, so that's helpful. And we draw a card. We have a ton of cards. Mortar and pestle. I'm gonna need to fully reload that weapon. So, getting to where the veteran is probably helpful. I'm gonna move 1. River. We have to do a stealth test. We have to test every time we enter. I rolled an 8. Is it equal to or less than? Or is it not? Who knows? Stealth test. If your mind roll is lower than or equal to your modified stealth, it is equal to, so I succeed. So I'm here. That was my first action. My second action. That's fine. Is I'm going to play the food. Probably should have done that first. Get this down to 1. My third action is I'm going to move here. It's a forest. If I move again this turn, I'll have to draw a monster, so I won't. And my fourth action, so nothing to scavenge. I still need 2 fuels. My fourth action is I will put out a mortar and pestle. Sure. Why not? Let's get all the gear out. No zombies to attack. Increase our hunger die by 1. We go to the vet's turn. Rolling dice. I rolled a 6. We put a monster token here. Well, that'll be fun when we get back to the van. And there are no other 6s. I do not want to enter because my gun is not loaded. I do draw a card. It is, the dog is alive. Reduce hunger by 2 for the dog and the vet. Get that varmint. Heck yeah. So we are going to scavenge, taking 2 cards, reduce discarding 1. So food. Oh, add 4 bullets. The food's nice, but the ammunition's better. That only works to a second target. The pistol does. So we're getting rid of the food, keeping the ammunition. My second action is I'm playing the ammunition to get 4 bullets on my Luger. I could also draw a card. I can't scavenge. I already did it once on the location. Hesitant to move into the forest just yet. I have this food, because why not? So I'll just play this. Well, I'll draw a card, fetch, and then I'll play that to get our hunger down to 1, because I can. Then I can go in next turn and just shoot, because again, I know something bad's awaiting me there. I have sensed it. I'm on the outside of the forest, and things are sketchy. All right, no monsters to attack me. I increase my hunger to 1, or by 1 to 2. We go to the surgeon's turn. So they are off now, so I need to remember that. Surgeons are spawning. Where? An 8. Oh, the joys. So we get a monster token here. And 8 hits both of us. So bad roll. So we're going to get a enemy for the surgeon. It's a zombie dog with 5 health. Oh, shoot. I looked at the 4 instead of the 5. So I cheated with her. She should have had to do. I had ultimately over the last few turns I had one less action because it would have taken me the scalpel 3 times to kill the zombie dog, which is fine. So the zombie dog had 5 health and does 4 damage, and I just flipped it in my head. We draw an enemy for the veteran. It's another zombie dog. I like dog on dog action. Let's make it happen. All right. The surgeon's turn. She's gonna kill the zombie with 3 actions with her scalpel, and then she's going to play this because she can. Yeah, that will work. No enemies to attack her there. She increases her hunger die to 3. Oh, did I draw a card for her? I did not. It is Scrubs. The veteran's turn. We're spawning. It's a 5. Ugh, that's gross. So that goes there. And this goes here. The veteran's drawing a card. It is Mortar, long range, actually clear a tile and monster tokens or deal 5 damage or anything on that tile. That's intriguing. I still don't have fuels, which is annoying. I'm going to move in. Now, there are no actions of opportunity. Again, it's a very streamlined Arkham Horror in how I'm experiencing it. When I go here, though, we go to the special rules. When you enter this tile, draw and attach a zombie queen. You are confronted with the most hideous undead creature you've ever seen. Worst of all, standing between you and getting the hell out of Dodge. Now, when I go here, I could, since there's another monster attached to me, I have no choice but to draw a monster for every token that's there. Otherwise, I could try a stealth test and see if I can just coexist with that. So I draw a monster for that monster token that was there. It has to go on me. It's the zombie dogs. I mean, I have played with this a lot, so like, this is just a weird shuffle that they're all so close. And then we get the zombie queen, which also attaches to me. She has, wow, whenever a zombie is killed, that player must draw a new monster. That's gross, and wasn't aware of that. So, we definitely need to kill that quick. Taser, stun enemy to the start of your next turn. That could be helpful. So we just need to kill the queen. Trying to kill these guys would make no sense. So that was my first action, was to move in. Oh, killing everything on that tile does not make any sense with the mortar. And then I'm just going to deal 6 damage to the queen. Take 9. Yeah, 6 damage to the queen. End of the turn, they all attack. I take 9 damage as the vet. Down to 7. And the zombie dog attacks my pup for 4. Dog collar reduces it to 3, so down to 6 over here. The surgeon's turn. Don't roll an 8 or a 5, please. We rolled a 9. Perfect. Zombie spawns here. The surgeon's going to move 1, which is probably what I should have done last turn, but I was scared. City Street, draw a monster. So she's got someone attached. Oh, it's a zombie spitter. That's a bad one to draw right there. This is mid-range. I have 3 more actions. I'm going to stun. Yeah, I'm gonna move in. And then I'm going to use the taser to stun the zombie queen. And I'm going to use the taser again to stun the zombie spitter. I have this action. I could start restoring health. And that's the start of my next turn. So even when this wouldn't normally activate. Normally it would activate on this turn because it's attached to me, but no, it's to the start of the surgeon's next turn, and that text will override. Any enemy's attack, that's done to the start of my next turn. My hunger die increases to a 4. I did forget to increase his hunger die to a 3. She should be 1 ahead at this point. We're spawning monsters on the veteran's turn. Please don't roll a 5. We rolled a 5. Woof. Yeah, the queen is hard, man. My doggo might die. 2 damage to all players and 8 damage to all monsters in range. I think you can buy damage separately. So, 1 card over here. It has to go to the doggo. It's a zombie spitter. 1 card here. Nope, that's a fuel card, Greg. The zombie soldier, but that's attached to the surgeon. So we don't have to worry about that just now. I think we have to kill the spitter, but then we draw another one. Doggo dies. We just do that. Alright, if dog is alive, what it is, I'm going to use this, well, because the dog might not be alive for very long. Oh, man. Three damage, 5 damage. The spitter lives, it's kind of fine. I'm going to use the pistol twice on the zombie queen. Gets us up to 12. I have 1 more action, which I will use. Everyone's going to live, but it's going to be ugly. Which I will use the dog's action to take a damage, and it's going to put 3 damage on something else. It's going to put 3 damage on the zombie queen. With the bite 'em mid-range. Excellent. End of the turn, the zombie dog does 4 damage. So the vet's down to 3. This zombie dog does 3 damage to the dog. It's down to 2. The spitter does 2 damage to the dog, which becomes 1, so down to 1. Spitter does 2 damage to the vet, so he's down to 1. The spitter does. This guy just doesn't activate yet. And the surgeon also takes 2 damage because it is in range of the spitter. All right. Hunger goes up to 2. Yeah, I think that makes sense. All right, we're going to spawn on the surgeon's turn. Don't roll a 5. I rolled an 11. That's much better than a 5. So this gets a token. We still have no fuel cards, which is super awesome. Surgeon draws a card from her deck. It is deal 3 damage to a target. Oh, that's nice. It's a drill. All right. I'm going to get rid. No, we're going to leave that. We're going to use the scalpel twice to kill the zombie queen. The zombie queen would have ready at the beginning of my turn. The zombie queen is now dead. So now we can actually kill the rest of these things. Surgeon has 2 more actions. Surgeon is going to stun the spitter and stun the zombie soldier to the start of her next turn. Then she won't take any damage from those guys, but she probably should heal. We'll stun the spitter. We'll keep the soldier around, and then we're going to restore 6 health to the vet. We're going to make it 8 health because +1. Oh, did we get rid of that at some point? No, yeah, +1/+1. So health restoration is now an 8 to the vet. So the vet is up to 9 health. And that's better. The zombie soldier attacks the surgeon. The surgeon goes down to 19. And the surgeon's hunger goes up to 5. The vet's turn. He's going to roll to spawn. Don't roll a 5, please. We rolled a 5 because of course we did. Oh, wait. I lied. She was not healing him. He's still at a 1. She's going to fully reload his weapon with ammunition and stun the spitter. Right. I knew I was missing something. So that was her 4th action. So the vet and the doggo are both down to 1, which is not good. All right. Maybe should have let the dog die. The queen's dead. Yeah, probably should have let the dog die on the last turn. This could work though. All right, zombie queen is out. We're drawing a card because it was our turn. Zombie spitter, of course. Drawing a card for the surgeon. It's a zombie soldier. Woof. My first action, I'm going to add the mortar. As my action, it's long range, but I can still do it within. I can still do it on the tile I'm on. Oh, I cannot. Cannot target the space that you currently occupy. Never mind. Does the dog collar prevent this damage? I guess it does. Then what's the... So he actually wouldn't have taken the damage from his attack. Don't know how I'm going to kill. That's a problem. Rolling that 5 was real bad. Kill, stun. Did I draw a card? I can't remember if I drew a card. I think I did not draw a card. We just drew the enemies. I had fetch. Yeah, doggos died. I don't think I drew a card. Deal 5 damage to a target, long range, so it has to be 2 or 3 away. I'm going to use 2 bullets and 2 bullets. Oh, yeah, 2 bullets to do 3 and 3. 2 bullets. Oh, I can't do it. To do 3 and 3. 1 bullet to do 3. And then the dog's going to do its attack for the 4th action and kill this, and then take a damage, but the dog collar reduces that to nothing. So these guys are all dead. All right, so that's 2 zombie spitters. I think we're just basically a soldier away. We're going to take an attack from the zombie dog that does kill the doggo. Dog collar is out. And then hunger die goes up to 3. Do we have any food? We do not have any food. All right. We're going to spawn an enemy. Dog is out. I guess that's why they did that. I don't know. It's weird. And then the zombie dog is going to come up to me. The surgeon's going to go. Beginning of their turn, that guy readies. I rolled a 7. No spawning. We draw a card. For the player, that player may play 2 cards right now. Interesting. Great. I'm going to do a steroid shot. Pick a player. The veteran can play 2 cards. 1, they're going to play Damn You All. Nope. I lied that. I lied. First, I'm going to do the health. Where's the 6 health restoration? I never took that card back. So we're going to heal 6 health. It becomes 8 health because +1/+1. Then we're going to play steroid shot for our 2nd action. The veteran's going to play 2 cards. Going to play Damn You All. Every player suffers 2 damage. Every enemy suffers 8 because he's so upset that his dog died. No, all monsters suffer 6. So 6 damage, dead damage. It's our 2nd spitter. We can play another card over here. I'll play the mortar just to get it out. And then we are going to, these both have 6 damage on them. Our 3rd and 4th action, we're scalpeling. We kill both the zombie soldiers. So we have accomplished the destroy. The queen, we destroy 2 of all 4 different things. Now we just need to find 2 fuels. My favorite thing about games is I love search mechanics. This guy was in range too, so you're, what was it, mid-range? So mid-range can include the space that you're on. Excellent. So the zombie dog is also dead. Surgeon doesn't get attacked. The hunger die does go up to 6, which flips us over, and we take 2 damage because we're getting hungry. And we lost our action ability there. If this, in 4 turns, if we don't eat, we will die. We go back to, did I increase? He should have been 2 off. I think that's right. Because it was, no. Did I forget to increase your die? I can't remember. No, I think 3 off makes sense. I definitely can't remember if we ate. So I do think 3 off makes sense. Because we were 1 off. And then we did another 2, and she hasn't eaten again in a minute. All right, we go to the vet's turn. The vet's spawning. Stop rolling 5s. We rolled a 7. That's excellent. The vet is going to move to the shopping mall. We're going to, we draw a card. Another dog collar makes me sad. We're going to, the mortar has 3 ammo. My pistol is empty. We're going to scavenge in the blue. Need fuel really badly. We got a fuel. My pistol is out, so I'm going to get rid of the pistol. It's out of ammunition and get a fuel. Because fuel does do a thing, and it's equip immediately as a free action or discard. We will obviously equip immediately. That can go there. That's our second action. My third action is I can't scavenge again. Again, it's going to be hard. There's only like 2 fuels in each of these decks. I could send the surgeon back to the city street, but when she enters, she has to draw a monster, and that sucks. So we're kind of stuck in this blue. I could move here, see if it's a red or a green. Tunnel as an action, you move somewhere else. That was our third action. Fourth action is I will draw a card. Dog is not alive. That makes me sad. That could have been super helpful. Deal 3 damage up to 3 targets in range. Unfortunately, did not get that. Hunger die increases to a 4. Surgeon's turn. She's going to roll the spawn dice. It's a 3. No 3s on the board. She draws a card. Draw 2 cards and 1 scavenge card. Sure, we'll do that. Draw 2 more cards. 6 health to any player. Taser, scavenge card, any scavenge card, right? I'll draw it from the red deck, which we've gone through a lot. Just haven't found the fuel yet. Hey, there's a fuel. I'm going to get rid of the scrubs. Because, again, I'm at my gear limit. If we can just race back, I don't need to worry about food. I can heal myself, but that's not going to be... The food's going to kill me more than anything. So I'm going to move here with my... second action. Move here with my third action. I can try a stealth check. 8 or lower, I'm good. I rolled an 8. And then I'll move here with my fourth action. Right, I played a card. I moved. Our hunger goes up. 4 damage, down to 11. Spawning on the vet's turn, I rolled a 9. So 9 gets a monster token. Draw a card. We're going to move. We're going to use the mortar to clear this. That's our second action. We're going to move. Hunger goes up to a 5. There's a chance it would be at 6. I'm not sure. It's fine. Surgeon's turn. We spawn. I rolled a 4. Nothing. Going to move. Stealth action. Nope. Stealth doesn't work. We have to draw an enemy. It's a walker. We're going to murder it with a scalpel because we have 2 actions left. Hunger die goes up to that. We lose 6 health. And then we're over here. We're spawning for the dude. I rolled a 10. Ding. He moves here. We have 2 fuel, which is what we need. We've killed the requisite enemies. We killed the zombie queen. We have survived. All right. The scientist opens the van sliding door, and you hand him syringes and vials full of supplies. After wiping the zombie blood off your face, you say, "Hey, Doc, give me a high 5 on a successful mission," as you toss him a severed zombie hand. Weird. Great. Cool. So now we just have to go to mission 3, would be next, which would find the cure. We have our scientist ally. He has a bunch of supplies apparently that we picked up along the way that wasn't really represented mechanically of anything. I guess it was just, the supplies were just dead zombie hands, apparently, and we managed to survive. So yeah, cool mechanics with the doggo. Definitely wish I was a little clearer. They move together. I think that is a sentence that probably should have been in there. I'm sure there are FAQs on the original edition of this game that would have really made that pretty clear that that was something that was confusing people. But I got a little unlucky with rolls. They kept landing on us, but we got, in the other sense, we were clearing out other areas, and we had enough like multiple target damage things, and we kept finding it took us a while to get to the fuel, but in that way, it also gave us ammunition that we kept being able to load up our Luger pistol a couple of times and whatever. But yeah, it's a fun little puzzle. It's pretty streamlined. I think the fact that it's so streamlined is one of the reasons I get frustrated by the rules ambiguities, because this doesn't seem like it's a game that needs them. But I think the more you play, the more you just understand what's going on, and the more you just kind of make the decisions that most suit you in cases where if you don't want to like spend 10 minutes googling stuff on BGG, it could be fine. So um, Adam, hey Greg, which Rock Band series do you prefer? Maximum Apocalypse or Set of Watch? Picking one of them. I would definitely say Set of Watch. I think Set of Watch is just a better game with more of a challenge and more interest. I'm not a huge fan of Swords of the Coin. I think Swords of the Coin errs on the side of being too easy because the items just make things a lot easier. Um, but I like the characters, so it's a kind of using the Swords of the Coin characters with the base set. I think is probably the way to go. I'm pretty interested to see where they go with the next one, with the next series. Um, and all the belt, like the Riders pack, I think is cool, though it's not the easiest to find. Well, I think once they have more stock with this latest Kickstarter fulfilling, so hopefully Forsaken Isles, I think it is, Forsaken Isles, Forsaken something. Hopefully that really kind of brings that series together, and I'm hoping they nail that. And I do think I talked to the designer Todd actually, and he, watched one of my videos where I was kind of saying I don't like how loosey goosey the deck building was, and he's like, yeah, most people didn't like that, so hopefully they'll give us more stringent, like, hey, this is your enemy deck here, here's your enemy deck here, because I think that there is a wild variability if you just shuffle all the monsters together, especially if you have both sets. I think you're going to be in for some pretty rough combinations. The way I do it, I keep them separate, but then I added in the Rough Riders, not Rough Riders, there's like a Riders pack that kind of adds a lot more variability. I like all of the variability with the summons cards and stuff, so I throw them in there. So it's a really really smart game, and I think I'm not a huge like dice placement guy, but like I think the way you have to use your dice to either use an ability, you can exhaust the ability, but you have to make sure that you're having the heals when you rest at camp. I think it's just a much more comprehensive game. But it also depends on your group. If you're looking to play this with someone who's not like a big gamer, this is a very easy teach, a very easy experience. But I do think there is a level that you're playing this almost more for the story than the mechanics. For a set of watch, you're going to want to play it more for the mechanics than the story. And I always err on the latter of those two extremes. So not even extremes, right? Because every game has to have that balance. But you see, I mean, look, if I didn't find any food, I mean, the surgeon definitely could have died. I did have, so you can, player in range can be yourself. So I could have at any point used the mortar and pestle to heal myself. So like I wasn't really that in danger of dying. The stun feels really strong. Like that was insane. Um, but ultimately I do like how the vet and the dog play. That's a lot of health though. So, there's definitely some, all these characters are pretty pretty strong, especially late game when you found your ability to do damage. There's a character that's like a damage enhancer where everyone's damage is +1 for a round or +2, like, so some of this could have gotten pretty silly. I mean, I rolled real bad and had a bunch of monsters on me early, but even early, I was able to kind of wipe them all out without too much of a sweat. So I do like the flavor of the queen, though, where you really have to kill her before you kill anything else. That ended up being a pretty tense phase, and I kind of enjoyed that. I think it was the first time I was like, oh, I might not win. Um, there's two modes you can play where if one character dies, it's fine, you just finish the game, or you can play where if one character dies, you all lose. Um, I'm probably in the second camp of this game. I don't think you should have one character die. The dog dying, I think, is more part of the understanding of how this character was built, because then he has those two events where he just could go berserk and just do a lot of damage, but he also damages himself because he's so upset. So I think that flavor is pretty cool. But damn you all! Poor pup. But the pup will be resurrected. Maybe be a zombie dog, but we'll have to find out that next time. So I'll probably swing back to Maximum Apocalypse when I get to Gothic Horrors and or Wasted Wilds. It might be a little bit. I honestly forgot to put this on my list of review copies I had a feature, so I got these a while ago. And I looked at my shelf. It's like, oh my gosh, I never featured that. So my apologies to Rock Manor for whatever that's worth. Where I don't like the fact that I sat on this for as long as I did. But they've been really supportive of the channel, and I appreciate everything they've done. So I do feel bad about that. But it is what it is. And I have my. I know I'm prone to bitch and whine about little things, but hopefully this was a helpful introduction to the game. I do think, again, when I see second edition on a box, I just expect it to be a little bit more on point. And the fact that this still had some wrinkles. I mean, even something as silly as your sample map didn't use all the tiles. Like, that just shouldn't happen, right? Like, it is what it is. But I'm a little something. Insert your favorite word. So and I understand that some people will be a lot more forgiving of stuff like that than I am. But with so many games to play, it's like I don't want to spend 10 minutes trying to figure out, or even I don't want to spend 2 minutes trying to figure out like some silly thing that was just a simple oversight, right? And when it happens once in the game, that's fine. But when it happens 2 or 3 times, and I'm only 3 missions in, it's like, is this going to keep happening? Because if so, that's not great. I don't love that. Now, Set of Watch has its own little struggles with clarity and rules and stuff like that, but I think it just comes with the turf for sure. But I'm gonna go. I hope everyone's enjoying the weather wherever they are, and I'll be back. I gotta get back to Maze Night. Definitely will start doing Nature Incarnate stuff pretty soon, so look out for that. So until next time, whatever that is, happy gaming.
Solo.